Good morning, YouTube. Hey, everyone out there in survival land. How you doing? Oh, they're frisky. Oh, look at that. Look at them go. Now, these things ignite really quick. See how quick? I just barely touched that. Hey, YouTube. Freedom for Cat is here. Hey, how's everyone doing out there? I hope everyone had a great weekend. I know I had a pretty good weekend. Hey, it's 2011, and it's been a very interesting year thus far. It's been a lot going on in the news, and I'm kind of going to get off the beaten path here. I'm going to do a video on autism, which this first article really struck my interest, so I want to go ahead and pursue this. I've been doing some research today, and I came up with some interesting articles, so let's get started. This was released today by the AP. It's a study that was done, and it says, spacing babies close may raise autism risk. This article came out of Chicago, and it says here that if you space your babies out 2 years or less, you're going to increase your rate of autism. If you have 3 years or more, you have a lower rate of getting autism. And it says right here, where babies are less than 2 years apart, autism is rising from 11% in all of 1995 to 18% in 2002, which I find rather interesting, because if you're doing research from 1995, I know that the vaccines have definitely changed from that long ago. So I don't understand how the spacing of babies has anything to do with the autism risk, outside of the fact of when you get the H1N1 vaccine, you know, are those chemicals staying inside the mother, and if she's getting the vaccine on a yearly basis, is she building up that vaccine, and is it just kind of building up in her body, or is it all being flushed out? That's a good question to ask. But anyway, let's continue on with the video. This is from the Health Protection Agency, okay? And it says here, pregnant women are considered to be at increased risk of complications from the H1N1 2009 influenza virus and the 2010 influenza virus. And the Department of Health and Protection Agency recommends vaccinations against the H1N1 virus in this group. At any stage of the pregnancy, though the pandemic is over, the H1N1 virus is likely to be one of the main influenza strains circulating in the 2010 winter season. Seasonal influenza vaccines for 2010 and 2011 contain the three strains, of which is the H1N1 2009 and 2010 and the general flu virus. So we scroll down here, and this is what really caught my interest. This is something that's kind of interesting here. It says pregnant women that have not been routinely offered seasonal flu influenza vaccines in the past, unless they were in a clinical risk group. However, there is good evidence from North America, Australia, and Europe which shows that pregnant women are at an increased risk of severe disease and admission to the hospital with the H1N1 virus. This risk increases in the third trimester of their pregnancy. Studies from the U.S. have shown that pregnant women are 4 times as likely to develop serious illness, and they are 4 to 5 times more likely to be admitted to the hospital with swine flu other than the general public. The World Health Organization, who has reported that 7 to 10% of all hospitalized patients with the swine flu that are pregnant women are more likely to need intensive care when compared with the general population. Now, I kind of find that very, very interesting that they need intensive care. And the reason why I say that is it's probably just a precaution that they're going to be in the intensive care unit because they're pregnant. Okay, but still, other studies have shown that the H1N1 vaccine has had other side effects, including miscarriages, when pregnant women have either had the shot while pregnant or have taken the shot just prior to getting pregnant as well. here's an interesting article, and this is about Amish people. And the question is do Amish have autism? Or rather, Amish don't have autism. That's a myth. And that is incorrect. The Amish groups, or community, they do have autism. And this is an amazing story here. But let's look at some hard facts here. Okay? It says right here that the autism community has an autism rate of 1 in 271 births, which is actually pretty low when you compare that to the autism rate of the US or European or the Australian autism rate. Now it says here, the prevalence rate of autism spectrum disorders appears to be steadily increasing. The latest report from the Center for Disease Control estimates that the rate of autism is 1 in 91 children according to the Kogan 2009 research study, up from 1 in 150 in 2007. So what they're saying is from 2007 to 2009, autism has almost doubled in countries that offer vaccines. So again, it makes you wonder and it makes you think, people have said that there is a link between vaccines and autism, although the Center for Disease Control and the WHO and other major pharmaceutical companies have always denied the fact that there is no link between vaccines and autism, which I find rather stunning, because if you look at the numbers and you compare this to the Amish people, I'm not saying that the Amish people don't get vaccinated. Some of them do, but they don't nearly get as many vaccines as we are forced to, as Americans, Europeans, and Australians do. It's quite a contrast to think that 1 in 91 births are going to have autism, whereas in the Amish group, it's almost 1 in 300, which is an amazing contrast between the two communities. It really is. Now let's go to this last page, and it says, this came out in September 21st of 2010. Warning, all pregnant women, miscarriages from H1N1 vaccines as high as 3,587 cases. Now, I do believe, and I may stand corrected, but that number, 3,589, came in the 2009 year. And there was also an estimated 1,588 stillbirths as a result of the H1N1 virus, when either the women got the H1N1 shot while being pregnant, or they got the shot and shortly after they became pregnant. This has always been a big controversy. And you know what's kind of funny is that while I was doing my research, I found several links with the Truther Girls videos on there, and I thought that was just commendable. And the Truther Girls do an amazing job on the H1N1, and I just want to give them a shout out. They are a tremendous advocator of being on top of this H1N1 vaccine and what it can and cannot do for you. So again, this is a rather interesting story, and I will also leave another link underneath. Feel free to check this out. This is a very interesting story always. And when you look at all of the information and the contrasts between what one group says and what another group says, sometimes it's hard to figure out what the actual truth is. But what I feel in my heart, and I think a lot of truthers feel the same way, is that we know, number one, they are trying to control the population, and number two, Big Pharma makes big money off of these things.